Hello lovelies! If you're new here, I'm Rachel and I'm a musician. Today I have been working on my business and marketing plan, and the chunk that I bit off was considering my product in terms of the bigger picture. So I was diving into the different types of markets and product differentiation points, and then using that information to take the mystery out of the often dreaded artist statement. There are 5 basic types of markets: mass markets, differentiated markets, target markets, niche markets, and customized markets. Personally, I don't have experience in mass marketing. This is where stuff with broad appeal, like toothpaste or smartphones, has to live, and not a lot of arts products fit into that category. Here in Hobart, sure, the Tasmanian Symphony Orchestra has billboards and runs bigger ad campaigns, as do the local festivals and a few theatre production companies. You could consider that a smaller mass market. Generally, organisations with more people and bigger budgets than those of us that spend time putting together our own little marketing plans. Mass marketing is about creating an enormous amount of product and selling it to the biggest audience possible. So, not where I'm at right now. The next market type is differentiated marketing, like the work I did when I was with Musicians League, a collective of musicians where the product was music for entertainment, and we organised music for events, from a string quartet for a quiet family wedding to a massive big band to play at an industry awards nights, and anything and everything in between. A lot of different products with different prices to suit a variety of needs. Target marketing is more focused than differentiated marketing. You do the work to identify potential markets, but specifically target the most viable. Like early advertising on social media. When you changed your relationship status to single, you'd get a bunch of ads for fast food delivery for the first 2 weeks, followed by 2 weeks of ads for dieting products. Because apparently that's what newly single people want. Niche marketing is a more focused version of target marketing. So, for example, I could focus solely on performing Scottish folk music for people with Celtic ancestry within Hobart. A lot of YouTube channels are focused on niche markets, and even the official YouTube creators' advice is to find your niche. This is a kind of marketing that used to be really limited, but with so many people online, a niche marketing strategy can now be very successful. Customized marketing is the opposite end of the spectrum from mass marketing. It's often a one-off product for a very specific need. In the arts, this might look like sculpting a piece of furniture for someone's new house, or being commissioned to paint a portrait of someone's pet, or coming up with the theme for a new movie, or writing the script for an advertising campaign. You might come up with a workshop idea to run at a local festival that would not work anywhere else. Mass, differentiated, target, niche, and customized markets. Which category do you best fit into? For me, I am focused on niche marketing, but with 2 different products. My niche is people who believe in connection and community through music, and it's divided into those who want to express themselves, that's my teaching work, and those who want the experience of my performances. Now I've identified the type of market I'm working with, I want to investigate my products within that, and there are 5 product differentiation points: price, quality, convenience, location, and enhancement. In terms of price, you might decide on cheaper prices that are aimed at young people or students, or you might set a premium price if you're gearing toward a customized market. I need to do some research, but in 2017 I was on par with musicians of similar profile in my area. I'm priced to appeal to age 35 plus, mid to late career professionals who enjoy creativity and community and or want that experience for their children. Previously, I charged a lot more for my educator role because I was focused on advanced students and early stage professional singers. But the last couple of years, I took some lower paid work teaching beginners and I'm loving it. So the pay cut is more than worth the payoff. In terms of quality, I'm really overqualified for the work that I do. I'm not a doctorate level, but I have 2 different postgraduate qualifications on top of 25 years experience. I'm not the cheapest out there, but I'm real value for money. Another thing to consider is that not every aspect of your creative product has to be super high quality. For example, I loved History House Productions here on YouTube because of the humorous way he presented the information. You couldn't say the animation was all that amazing, but it did the job, and tens of thousands of people watch those videos every week. So I don't worry if not every one of my Instagram posts are highly polished and professional looking, because that's not the point of what I do as a musician. However, I will spend money on a professional recording studio and mastering for my original music tracks. Focus on the quality of your main product and then get in outside help where and when you need to maintain your standards. Convenience isn't always a selling point. Sometimes the difficulty of getting the thing can make it seem more valuable. Personally, I try to keep myself as convenient as possible because community and connection are priorities for me. So I share a lot online. I try to do as much face-to-face as possible and so on. I want to get better at the online stuff and I know I have work to do, but I've got an idea of what I need to do at least. Related to convenience is location. It used to be that I would try to get myself gigs in really beautiful and often out of the way locations. And that was wonderful for all sorts of reasons. But it did mean that I wasn't so accessible as I am now. Now I'm focused on being your friendly neighborhood musician, coming to you in your home via the internet or appearing at your local pub or restaurant or whatever. Yes, I do performances with other artists where I'm more of a diva and spend my time backstage. But for my arts practice, my personal work, it has to come back to community and accessibility. The 5th product differentiation point is enhancement. And what we're asking here is, does the product stand alone, or is it possible to develop things which will enhance it or attach it to things that will be enhanced by it? So a meal at a fancy restaurant is enhanced by a live jazz trio. A visit to a gallery is enhanced by good architecture and design. A public sculpture can either be in a beautiful location or it can liven up a less than stellar corner of the city. The best authentic travel experiences generally involve exposure to the local culture. This is something I really haven't thought about in a long time for my arts practice. Of these 5 product differentiation points, price, quality, convenience, location, enhancement, I think quality is my strongest and enhancement my weakest. I need to do a little work on price and definitely more consideration of convenience and location. So today's analysis has given me a much clearer idea of where I stand in the bigger picture and also some idea of what I need to do from here. And that's why business and marketing plans are really good for us creatives, because they give us a path to follow so we can always come back to the main goals after we get distracted by all the pretty shiny things. Speaking of which, remember last week we came up with a sentence or two that defined our main product or products. Let's take a moment to expand on that. Usually straight after the mission and or vision statement in a business plan comes the product description. When an artist describes their product, we call it an artist statement. With all of the information gathered so far, we should be able to write some pretty good statements. First, we want to decide how many products to make a statement about. Remember, this is a general introduction to your work or to the current projects you're working on, not specific items within that. So I won't include a statement about every song I've ever written, performed, or taught. I'm going to do 2 statements or product descriptions because I have 2 main products: musician and music educator. Then for each statement, we want to answer at least these 4 questions. How does your current work relate to your previous work? If there are qualifications, influences, or experiences that it's important for your audience to know about, include them. If they were a long time ago or not really relevant to the work, it's okay to leave them out. Who does your work appeal to? Remember how you've priced and positioned yourself and briefly described that audience. If it's a niche, define the niche. If it's a broader audience, explain why it's appealing to so many. How do you anticipate the audience will respond to your work? Use some descriptive words, adjectives, adverbs, and particles. But not too many. Keep it to the point. Does your work relate to other work? If you know about some enhancement for your product, tell us about it. If it fits into a particular philosophy or scene, tell us about that. Now play around with the wording and order of your answers to those questions to make the whole thing flow. Try and keep it short, but if your statement runs longer than about 300 or 400 words, you might recap the most important points at the end. Very importantly, get 1 or 2 trusted colleagues or mentors to look over your statement and make sure it says what you think it says. Sometimes it's easier to get away from any uncomfortable feelings about bragging when you can separate your work from you as a person. Get some feedback from someone you trust and incorporate it to make sure your statement gives the best impression of your product. I'm still waiting on some feedback, but so far I think these statements are concise and cover the important points. Pause the video if you want to read them fully. And now you've got your artist statement ready to include in a portfolio, applications for festivals and grants, or for program notes. Woohoo! If you want to stick with me on this creative journey, don't forget to subscribe down below. And if you hit the bell, you get notifications when videos go live. See you next time.